Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the June 2020 monthly tarot reading for the sign of Libra. I almost wanted to say Gemini then, but Libra. So please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it's not going to apply to each and every one of you. However, you can take a look at this month's reading in regards to your sun, moon, and rising signs, okay? So take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs, and see which video's title resonates for you most at this time. So just to let you know, I'll be pulling from the intuitive tarot to begin with, using a traditional Celtic cross style spread. And then I'll be using the Rider-Waite deck to get further clarification and see any other messages that might come forward for you at this time. So, Libra, let's get into your reading for June 2020. Now, these are coming out a little bit later than I hoped, so I apologize for that. But luckily, we are just beginning the month, so there's still plenty to come in regards to the things that are playing out for you this time. Generally, what I've noticed as a trend, which coincides perfectly with all the retrogrades that we have currently, is that cycles are coming to a close, right? There is a significant shift in the way in which people are going to be conducting themselves, and the types of connections and the way they communicate moving forward is going to change dramatically. So there's a lot of things that are closing out for everyone in various aspects of their life. So we'll see how these energies apply to your current circumstances, Libra. So let's get into it. Let me shift a little bit forward. Okay. So as always, I'm going to pull the full spread in regards to the key messages here first, go through each card, and then I'll go into the clarifications, so as I normally do on the channel here. Okay, interesting. Make sure I give myself enough room. So just while we're getting the layout, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, subscribing, who's been following me on social media and interacting with me, sharing my videos. It means the world to me to have your support, so thank you so much for doing that and for being a part of this growing online community. It's always good to connect with new people and just discuss, some of the things that are taking place currently. So yeah, don't be a stranger. I'm always, open to making new connections and seeing you guys. So yeah, come and say hi. And just to everyone who has been tuning in to or watching rather, the live video that I did with Natalie of Nature's Galaxy. Thanks for, being a part of that conversation. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It is there. And it's also on IGTV, as it was originally called, the live was originally conducted on Instagram. So you can also check it out there. The links for my social media channels are in my YouTube channel's banner, okay? So let's get into it without further ado. So Libra, in regards to your present circumstances, you have the 10 of Swords here, okay? So this is obviously air energy, your energy, as well as Gemini and Aquarius. Now with this being in the position of your present, this is talking about, I feel like for you, you are closing the door on your pain, essentially. Like, you've been through it. It's been difficult. It's been a challenge. And there's been a lot of things that you've had to confront head on. There's a lot of things that have come into your awareness where things are not quite what you envisioned, okay? Things did not come together in the way that you hoped they would. And there may be some things you've been turning a blind eye to just because you felt it was too difficult to contend and deal with certain energies all at the same time, certain situations that have been particularly troubling or particularly strenuous, right? Where it's taken up a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, a lot of resources. But now I feel like you're ready to close the door on this chapter for good. You're ready to release yourself from the pain that's resulted and the, anxiety, stress, and upset. In regards to the position of your challenge, you have the Four of Wands, the fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is talking about creating your own foundations, finding the perfect alignment within yourself, you know, mind, body, and spirit, divine feminine and masculine, higher self, ego, and shadow, all aspects of self coming together in perfect harmony in order to create stability, in order to move forward and carve out a new path for yourself. Okay, so this is the challenge here with regards to the release and walking away of one cycle towards the new. Okay, in regards to your recent past, you have the Eight of Wands, so more fire energy. This is talking about you've had to learn to communicate certain things that you found difficult to discuss. Maybe you couldn't find the right words, the right way of expressing yourself. Maybe you felt like you weren't being heard. And now you've made a point of stepping up and ensuring that what it is that you need to say is received, okay? Whether the person wants to hear it or not, whether or not you want to communicate it. You know there's certain things that needs to be communicated. And that's what you did. You stepped up and you said your piece. You did what you needed to do, right? In order to close certain chapters, right, that belong in your past. So I feel like that's the energy you kind of stepped into. You stepped up to the plate and you spoke your truth. You communicated what needed to be said. You expressed yourself in a way that maybe you have never done before, right? About certain feelings, certain thoughts, certain situations that played out with various connections, right? Different aspects of your life. And you're just trying to move forward now. You're done kind of with the past and you're ready to step forward is what I'm getting. In regards to your near future, you have the High Priestess in reverse. So again, I feel like this is a real shift in your energy, Pisces energy, by the way, from going, you know, from being in a state of maybe holding your tongue, not expressing what needed to be expressed, not finding the right words, not being able to communicate properly what it is that you're feeling or thinking, not feeling like your words are falling on deaf ears, that, you know, certain actions are not being carried out that need to be, you know, on the behalf of others, right? And I feel like you're coming out of that energy and you found a way to express yourself. You found a way to step up and say what needed to be said, do what needed to be done, right? So you're no longer holding back. I feel like you felt like now that you've found your voice, now you found a way to express what it is that you want, what it is that you're focused on moving forward. You're no longer holding back. You're no longer pulling the reins, right, on yourself. You're kind of allowing yourself to move full steam ahead without any feelings that you have to sit back and watch and wait. You know, you're not in the observer space right now. You're actually an active participant at this time, which is very interesting. In regards to your feelings, you have the Knight of Wands. So more fire energy, lots of fire coming up in your reading. That's what I'm feeling from you, Libra, that the fire in your belly has been ignited and you're like passionately charging towards a new beginning, a new aspect, you know, in some area of your life. You know, there is some significant change moving forward and it's showing in the way in which you conduct yourself, the way you carry yourself, right? Because like I said, you were very low on energy, I feel, for those of you this reading resonates for. You were low on energy for a long time, but now you've regained the fire in your belly and now you're charging towards what it is that you do want, right? There may be something that you've felt a sparking interest for, right? Some passion that's been ignited within you, maybe possibly a long lost passion or something entirely new. And you're really, really excited to explore this, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you can tap into your creativity again, right? That you have some kind of vision, that you can explore something that's going to make you feel good, that makes you feel confident, that makes you feel like you would be well respected in some way, right? Or that people would admire you for, be inspired by, right? That's what I'm getting with this in your feelings. In regards to your energy, as in what's crowning you at this time, what's within your power to affect, you have the Five of Swords. So there is some element of conflict here, but I feel like you are choosing to walk away from that. I think, you're done with having arguments over the unnecessary. That's what I'm getting from this. Is that there may be some arguments that are still playing out in the month of June, but rather than choosing to engage in those arguments, you're choosing to walk away because you're like, this is so beneath me. This is not even worth my time. We all know the truth here. We all know what needs to take place at this point. So I've said what I needed to say on the matter, and that's all there is to it. I'm just moving forward. But you may be a little bit stressed still by this situation because you're like, oh, again? Why is this coming up again? Why am I having to deal with this again? I thought we put this to bed when we had this discussion, right? That's what I'm getting from it. So there might be a bit of frustration and annoyance around that, but ultimately I feel like you're choosing to take the higher path, take the higher road in the situation. So in regards to your advice, you have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So very abundant energy in the upright. This talks about self-investment, but I feel like at this time, or rather than self-investment, investment in some aspect, right? And I feel like at this time, you're pulling back your resources and you're trying to look at things carefully, assess what it is that you need to do in order to invest more in this new direction that you're taking. Perhaps you feel like, okay, maybe my time and energy and resources are best invested elsewhere and not what I have been investing my time and energy into. Perhaps you're looking to save money at this time, save for, a new venture. Like I said, with this being here as well, I feel like, some of you are trying to start a new business or engage in a new career, right? There's a new direction here for sure in some aspect. And I feel like for a lot of you, this applies to. This is very much in relation to your own stability, your own passion, right? In terms of the things that you do. So this could be you wanting to start a business, a small business. Maybe you're wanting to explore a craft more that you've been very interested in, or you've realized that you actually become interested in. Develop your skills in some way, in some area. But I feel like, you're pulling back your resources and rather than spending it frivolously on things that, didn't serve your highest interests. You may be in this conservation mode, right? Where you're trying to pull back your energy, pull back your finances in order to get yourself on, stable footing so you can then invest in what it is that you actually want. This passion project, this new career choice, this business, whatever it is, right? But I feel like it's very much work orientated or something to do with your creativity, with so much wands coming up here as well. In regards to your external influences at this time, so this can be people, places, situations, environments, right? You have the Page of Pentacles in the upright. So earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? You could be dealing with someone of that sign. You could also be dealing with a fire sign with fire coming up so prominently in your reading, or possibly even a Pisces with that High Priestess in reverse here. Either way, I feel like what is being expressed is that someone sees that you are really pouring a lot of time and energy into your next step, your new chapter, this new leg of the journey that you're about to embark on, right? Someone sees what you're doing and they admire it to the point where they want to invest in your vision of what happiness looks like. They want to invest in you as a person. That's what I'm seeing here. And I don't feel like it's going to be a huge gesture. It's not like, here's £1 million, anything like that. But I feel like someone's going to show some small token of appreciation in what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So where you may have seen doors closed in front of you before, or people not really seeing what it is that you bring to the table or what you have to offer, I feel like someone is going to recognize that and they're going to propose something to you, or they're going to show some kind of token of appreciation, something small but very meaningful to you, right? That's going to help you move forward as well. It's going to give you that extra boost of encouragement. In regards to your fears, you have the Page of Swords in reverse. So, you know, more air energy, your energy, Libra. I feel like you're afraid that you haven't got what it takes to move forward, that you don't have the skills or that you don't have the strength to go through this next set of circumstances. Because I think you know that things are changing, and that with this new direction, this new path that you're embarking on, it's going to present very new challenges, right? Especially as you have graduated from certain lessons from the previous cycle, right? So I think you're a bit scared as to what these new challenges will present, if you have what it takes, if you have the wisdom or the experience to tackle whatever it is, because you feel like it's going to be something new, something that could even be out of your experience entirely, right? So you're a little bit hesitant and afraid, especially if it's attached to a new project or a new passion that you've never explored before, right? So I do understand that. However, I think you have absolutely what it takes to, you know, move towards this, right? To build your skill set, to gain the experience, right? And someone else recognizes that in you for sure as well. So I do understand that certain sense of fear when you try something for the first time, or, you know, you're going back to something maybe you haven't looked at for a long time. But, you know, it's not to say that you don't have what it takes, though. I'm not getting that at all. I think you'll surprise yourself, actually. You know, give yourself time and you'll see the results, okay? So in regards to your hopes, you have the Six of Wands in reverse here. So I think what you're hoping from this is that it's not about the happiness of someone else. It's not about how it's perceived. It's about what it actually brings to the table for you. Normally, when you see this in reverse, people think like, oh no, it's not going to be successful. Things are not going to work out. But it's not like that. I think you're hoping that you don't care how it appears on the surface. It's about how it makes you feel, you know? You don't care if it's going to bring, you know, billions of dollars, billions of pounds. You don't care if, you know, it's something flashy or not. That's what I'm getting from this. That you want to know that it's something that's going to bring a lot of joy, happiness, and fulfillment for you, right? For you as an individual, which I really like that. I like that as an energy. And then finally, in regards to your potential outcome, you have the Five of Pentacles. So I feel like what's being communicated here is that in order to gain something, there's always this give and take, right? This karmic exchange. And I feel like in order to obtain what it is that you're looking for, you had to lose certain things, right? Certain things had to be removed from your life. So while you're going through this process towards what it is that you want, expect certain things to be removed from your life. It might be difficult when you go through that process because you feel like, oh my gosh, life is kicking me down more. It's taking this, and this from me. But actually it's freeing you up so that you can gain something more, something else, right? That is aligned to what it is that you're passionate about, what your vision is, right? Because there's certain aspects within your life currently that isn't aligned to where it is that you're headed. So don't be surprised if certain connections change, if your physical circumstances change quite a lot as well, because it's accommodating for what it is that you're actually asking for. So just be aware of that. That what you're losing may actually be the very thing that helps you to move towards what it is that you want. So just something to think about. Okay, do one more shuffle. I already shuffled these cards before I started the video, but I'm going to do just a couple more shuffles and then we'll get into the clarification. As it stands though, I feel like this is very clear as to what is being communicated at this time for you, Libra, but it's always good to get obviously a little bit more insight any messages that can help you with this process, because as I said, you know, it's a huge transition for all of us, you know. We're all going through different transitions at this time, a lot of closing out of the old and embracing the new. So you know, it can be a lot, you know, because there's a lot happening all at once. So I try to get as much info as I can to help you through this process, but it's looking very good, you know, even with the 2 5s here. So 5 5 55, Possibly 555 as well will be very prominent for you at this time. This is all about the shifting of the material realm, the 3D being realigned, and things in your reality shifting and changing. So that definitely is the key energy here of this reading. So with these shifts, there's always going to be some things that are a little bit tough. There's always this requirement of releasing attachment as well to certain things while this newness comes in, especially. So yeah, it can be a little bit difficult, and a lot to take in, but in the long run, it's going to serve you very well, and you're going to be very happy about it, I feel. Okay, so clarifying your present circumstances, the 10 of Swords here. You have the 3 of Wands in reverse, you have the World card, and you have the 6 of Pentacles as well. So it's a lot going on here energetically. I feel like with this closing of the chapter, especially this marking a new beginning here with the World card, it's like you've come full circle. You went through a whole bunch of pain in a circumstance. It was very trying, it was very difficult. You saw where there was imbalance, and you chose to restore balance within yourself by walking away from something that was painful, that triggered memories of the past, a past cycle that was also bringing that kind of pain into your reality. So there was another lesson learned from a new angle within a very similar circumstance as to what you experienced already. But I feel like you've grown a lot from this, though. You've come full circle. You've completed the cycle for good. So that's very positive. That shows that you are ready to leave that behind and move towards the new. Okay, and you're ready, and you're not waiting for it to come in either. You're choosing to go after it yourself, as I said, especially with this energy here in your feelings. Right? You're ready. You're like, I'm so ready. I can't even tell you. You know, I've been ready, you know, is that kind of energy. So you're moving forward, man, full steam ahead. And I love that. So in regards to the challenge here, the 4 of Wands, you have the Hierophant, Taurus energy, could be dealing with a Taurus, and you have the 2 of Swords in reverse. So this is saying, yeah, that you're aware that this is going to be a little bit challenging because you're having to go full steam ahead towards the unknown. You had to make a decision to trust in your intuition over, you know, all of the things that your mind is screaming at you as a potential warning. Because these are not things that are actually detrimental. This is just coming from a place of fear because it's unknown, it's new, right? So you're choosing to go with your intuition because you know that your intuition is screaming at you, and also you're getting some downloads, some messages or signs or synchronicities from an ascendant plane, right? That may be coming through your spirit guides, you know, whoever is energetically reaching out to you at this time from the higher planes of existence, right? So you're aware that you are being spiritually guided towards this new path, and that's going to help you come into alignment in all aspects of self, all senses of self, from the highest to the lowest. So you're choosing to work with that energy rather than against it. And I feel like while you know it's going to be challenging because you're having to surrender, you know, your need for having all the answers, you're learning to trust in that feeling, in that sixth sense, if you want to call it that. All right, so very positive. In regards to your recent past, the 8 of Wands here, you have the 2 of Wands and you have the Sun card, Leo energy. Could be dealing with Leo, could have in your chart, regardless. Yeah, you learn how to communicate what it is that you truly want. You may have been finding it hard previously to express yourself, you know, and what happiness means to you, what it is that you're looking for, what you seek in a connection, especially, right? And what brings joy, what brings this feelings of love, of happiness, contentment, fulfillment, right? The meeting of minds and spirit, right? So you may be communicating to certain people that this ain't it. I'm not seeing it, so I'm not going to settle. I'm going to move forward until I find it, because this is not the energy. This is not what is being presented. Sorry if you have my stomach then. I think I need to eat in a minute. My belly's just like, hey, what about me? But yeah, so you would express that, look, this is what I'm seeking. Look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what my happiness looks like. And anything that doesn't align with this energy and what it is that I'm trying to embody, then it's just not going to mesh, right? So I need to move forward. I need to focus on this. And I'm not willing to settle for anything that brings that energy down, right? In regards to your near future, the High Priestess in reverse, you have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and you have the Ace of Swords. So your energy here as well as Earth. So yeah, you're not keeping quiet anymore. You're expressing yourself. You know, you're speaking your truth. You're standing in your truth. And you're like, okay, you know, this is a new me. This is a new thing for me. I'm now just saying what it is that I need to say. And now I have found the words to express it, you know. Now I've found the action that I want to put behind it. And I'm no longer concerned over the opinions of others or whether or not I have the necessary skills to make it happen, even though I feel like there is a little bit of fear there still regarding that. You're like, I just know that I need to try. I need to make the effort, put the work in, give it a go, see what happens. So I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to wait around anymore and hope that, you know, someone gives me the seal of approval. I'm just going to move forward and do it, right? I'm just going to take up the sword and give it a go, essentially. So I really like that as an energy. So in regards to your feelings, the Knight of Wands here, you have the Ten of Pentacles and you have the Devil in reverse. So Capricorn energy could be relevant either way. I feel like what it's saying here is that you are moving towards something very passionately, something that you deem to be the Ten of Pentacles, you know, that's going to give you the whole, you know, picturesque view of things, of what you wanted, right? But you have to be careful, because you got to remember that what we envision in our minds, what we think to be the perfect picture, right, is not always how it's going to actually play out or how it's going to actually look. Because when we get fixated on the perfect picture, that can rob us of certain other things that would have possibly given us even more fulfillment, more happiness, right? It doesn't have to be picture perfect. Again, not concerning with how it looks on the surface with that Six of Wands in reverse there, but how it truly feels, right? So that's the illusion there. So that's all you need to be aware of, is that don't allow the way something looks to dictate what it is that you are trying to manifest. Because, you know, say for example, if you're on social media a lot, say you're on Instagram or whatever, and you see these pictures that are being put up by certain people, and you're like, oh, that looks so perfect. Looks like they have such a perfect life. I want my life to be just like theirs. Well, you're not seeing the arguments in the background. You're not seeing the, you know, lack of attention they give one another when they're just on their phones, right? You're not seeing, you know, the full picture is what I'm saying, right? You're only seeing the perfect snapshot. So don't allow yourself to fall into that trap, because if you try and manifest from a place of imitation, or just only taking the highlight reels and thinking, yeah, that's what I want my life to look like, you may rob yourself of true happiness and fulfillment. So just be aware of that. But yeah, it's good to have a vision. It's good to have an idea of what it is your happiness looks like, what it is this abundance is in life, you know, where you have maybe a family, a nice house, doing the job you love, having a good friendship circle, you know, being able to do activities, whatever that is, right? It doesn't have to be that setup, but whatever it means to you, it's good to have a clear idea of what that is. I'm just saying that don't attach certain associations with that, or certain superficialities to that, because it doesn't show the true nature of a thing, right? That's all I'm saying. But yeah, definitely dream. It's good to dream. It's essential to dream. Okay, so in regards to your energies that are crowning you at this time, the Five of Swords. You have the Eight of Wands again, so 888 and 8888 could be very important to you at this time as well, so do check that out in terms of numerology, especially in regards to the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, that kind of energy, and things that may need addressing in order to assist the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor. So yes, Eight of Wands and the Judgment card, right? So I feel like you choosing to express what needs to be communicated in order to resolve an argument or a disagreement or a conflict of interest will free you from the situation, right? You're no longer biting your tongue or holding back. You're expressing what needs to be expressed, nothing more, nothing less. And then once you've said your piece, once you've made it clear what needs to take place, and there's no disputing that, because again, you're holding the sword of truth, there's no dispute, no matter how they try and bend it at any angle, you will be victorious, okay? You will see the outcome of that, right? That the judgment will be in your favor, essentially, is what I'm getting. So there's no need to fret or fear or concern yourself with, you know, whoever's presenting the conflict of interest or the argument, right? Because you will see a resolution, is what I'm getting, okay? So very good, very good. We like that. In regards to your advice here, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, you have the Seven of Swords in the upright, and you also have the Six of Swords in reverse. So that's an interesting combination. So yeah, you're pulling your energy back. You're reassessing where your time, money, resources, attention would be best served, because you were pouring into something that wasn't as it appeared, something deceptive. Again, you know, something that seemed picture perfect, but the reality was far removed from that. So you're realizing that it wasn't as good as it seemed. It wasn't what was being presented. There was something or someone that was being, you know, not entirely honest about their intentions or showing the full picture of things as they truly are, right? So now you've got that in your awareness. Now it's clear the true nature of this person and what it is that they're actually trying to accomplish here. You understand that sometimes you cannot get people to meet you in the middle, that you're not going to necessarily see eye to eye, because you're coming from very different viewpoints, right? Different senses of morality. You know, you don't see things in the same way. You don't have the same moral compass. So you're understanding that it's better to sometimes, rather than trying to, you know, find a resolution and bring things into balance with this person, sometimes you simply have to pull back, pull your energy back and invest it into yourself, right? Save what it is you need to save energetically, save whatever you need to do in terms of resources and finance in order to get yourself in a better position, right? So in regards to your external influences, the ace, I don't know where that came from, the Page of Pentacles here, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse and you have the Eight of Cups in reverse. So that's really interesting as well. You have the 8 and the 9, both in reverse. So this tells me is that someone's willing to give you some kind of gesture, right? In trying to help you in some way. Trying to show you some gesture that they see what you're trying to do. They admire your courage, your strength, your conviction, right? And that they want to support you in some way. Because they see that, you know, you've been struggling a little bit, and, you know, there may be certain things that you're still trying to address within yourself in order to heal fully, right? There's some aspect that you haven't been able to go deep enough within to properly heal. So I feel like someone might even try and help you with that process in some way, you know, or give you advice or, you know, point you in a direction that might help with that process, you know, because I feel like some of you may even feel like you don't deserve this new beginning. like, oh, it's not all about me, and how can I walk away from this and this because, you know, I care about this person and that person. But someone's saying, listen, this is something you need to do for yourself. But, you know, for some reason, you may have difficulty walking away from something or someone. And you're finding it hard to give back to yourself because all you're focused on is what you wanted to give elsewhere, right? So that was very specific, but yeah, that's what I'm getting with that. I just want to pull one more card. Why else is the Page of Pentacles here? Okay, 2 cards came out. That's fine. I'll take it. Okay, because someone wants to rebuild what was broken, and because someone understands that their inaction was also partially to blame for the crashing down of this situation, right? So it's possible that someone from the past is trying to come back in to offer reconciliation or to show that they are invested in some aspect of this connection. It's going to be different for different people. For some of you, someone's coming in to offer support because they see that it's not an easy process for you getting back up on your feet, you know, rebuilding what was broken, heading into a completely new direction also. So someone wants to provide support and assistance for that to help you on that process because they're like, you know, you don't need to do it alone. For others of you, it's going to be someone from the past that's tied to this situation that wants to come back in and show that they're invested in some aspect. Just be careful if that's the case, okay? So, in regards to your fears, you have with the, the Page of Swords in reverse here, you have the King of Swords, so this is you, Libra, in all your glory. And you have the 5 of Swords in reverse this time, so yeah, okay. So you're afraid that, yeah, you're like, I'm afraid because I feel like I don't want to have to start all over again, you know, and I feel like if I take this new direction, then I'm having to start from scratch. I'm having to, in some ways, be like a complete novice, even though I have grown so much and I've learned so much through experience. You know, I've been able to take care of myself all this time, right? But I don't want to feel like I have to start over again in some aspect. And I'm worried that, you know, if I take this new path, then I have to cut my losses and start from scratch. So maybe you're afraid, like, would it be easier to just to not walk away from this situation and try and see what I can do to patch things up or try and resolve it in the best way I can? Or should I just completely walk and focus on the new beginning? You know, I feel like I would have to let a lot of things go. I think that's where your fear is the fear of releasing attachment to certain aspects of this past cycle and a certain person for some of you. In regards to your hopes, with the 6 of Wands in reverse here, you have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, you have the 2 of Pentacles, and you also have the World card, okay? So Queen of Pentacles in reverse, 2 of Pentacles, and the World card. Oh, sorry, not the World card. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I don't know why I thought the World card. Anyway, so I think what's being pretty much shown here is that, you know, you're kind of going back and forth. It's like, again, you want to focus on what brings you happiness, what looks good to you, what makes you feel, you know, that you're tapping into your creativity, your passions, and it's something that you are proud of accomplishing, right? It's like, and you're going back and forth between what's going to bring you, you feel is going to bring you deep fulfillment, and what's going to bring you success on the surface. That's what I'm getting from it. It's like not knowing what direction to take exactly, because you're like, if I go focus on this, then that's going to bring me a lot of fulfillment within, but it's not going to necessarily show you know, significant material abundance on the surface. Whereas if I go this way, then, you know, if I get to that point, then people are going to see my success. It's going to be written all over me, right? It's that kind of energy. So you're kind of stuck between the two and you're like, oh, I don't know what to choose, one that looks really good or one that actually makes me feel really good, you know, it's that kind of thing. So that could be in regards to this new career direction, that could be in regards to a connection, right? But I feel like with that, you're hoping that you can kind of overcome that indecision and make a decision moving forward. But with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse here, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be dwelling over whether or not me taking this pentacle from whoever it was a good idea, right? It's like part of you kind of wants to, whatever this offer that's coming in, part of you wants to reject it, but part of you wants to accept it, and you want to make sure that whatever decision you make with regards to this offer or this support, that you've made the right one. You're hoping that regardless, you would have made the right one and you're not going to regret it. Because you're like, I can't go through this cycle again. You know, I can't go through this, whatever this was, I can't go through it again. So I need to make sure whatever decision I make, whatever I choose to accept from this individual is going to be right for me. So I'm hoping that I make the right decision and that I don't fall back into the same way of doing things, the same cycle, going through the same kind of bullshit with the same kind of people, right? It's that kind of energy. Sorry if you can hear my stomach. I didn't realize I was so hungry. So I'm going to go get some food after this reading. Okay. And then in regards to your potential outcome, with the Five of Pentacles here, you have the Seven of Cups in reverse and you have the Six of Wands in reverse. So, yeah, it's like, you know that you're having to release certain things. You're going to have to let go and walk away from certain aspects that are in your life, certain things within your life that are keeping you locked into the previous cycle. So there may be a connection that you're walking away from. It may be your location. It may be your current job. It's going to play out in different ways for different people. But I feel like you know that you have to release something for good in order to move forward. It's not that there's no chance of reconciling in the future, or you know, being able to do that in some way again in the future. But whatever this attachment is that you have to release it in order to obtain what it is that you want moving forward. Otherwise, when you're doing that, it's important that you don't fixate on what was lost, because if you do, that's going to prevent you from actually obtaining what it is that you truly want, right? Because it's clear there is only one specific thing that you really feel like you're kind of fixated on at this time. I feel like you're not looking at different possibilities. I feel like in your mind there's only one possibility and one thing that you truly want at this time. But you just have to be careful that you don't form a new attachment, right? You don't release one attachment and form a new attachment, because that will not bring you the success that you're looking for, okay? So it's really important, especially if it involves a connection. You don't want to just release one attachment to a person just to jump into another one where you're just like so fixated on that connection, and that being your perfect happiness, your picture perfect happiness, because that's not how it will work out, right? So as long as you're aware of those energies and you don't fall into those same cycles or those same patterns, right, with especially romantic connections, you'll be fine. And the same with your work as well. Don't be afraid to explore new possibilities. Don't be afraid to try your hand at something new just because it's new. It doesn't matter, like, if you don't have the experience or you don't have all the skills. This is something you can learn, right? It's important to just give it a go. Try it, right? Give it a go. Take up the sword. Try it, So, yeah, Libra, I hope this all helped. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Again, apologies for my stomach. And, we'll see when we do your shadow work reading if anything comes up in relation to this particular reading that can help you release that fear of the unknown, and also any attachments that are still lingering from the previous cycle. So I'm sending you lots of love, lots of encouragement. You got this, you can do this, and I'll speak to you guys soon.